What does it mean to be a victim? We've heard it. You're a victim. You have a victim mindset. Well, what does that mean? I want to explain what that is, how to identify it, and then explain the magnitude of being a victim. So the first thing is people say you're a victim, you have a victim mindset. I want to take that deeper. This is actually a consciousness. You are in victim consciousness. And what is consciousness? That's a whole different thing. I don't know. But I can tell you, victim consciousness, you have transformed your energy, you have transformed your thought patterns, your physiological biology in victim consciousness. Your voice gets quieter, you generally have slouched shoulders, you're not exercising. So that's how powerful this state of being and type of thinking is. This victimhood, victimness, victim mindset. It's none of that. This is a consciousness. This is an actual state of existence where, well, I'll explain it. So the first thing you got to do is understand what it looks like. So if you're in victim consciousness, or you know someone who is, there's a lot of blame. So everything would be okay if this didn't happen. Everything is going to be great when this happens. If this did or didn't happen, I would or wouldn't feel like this. So what that is completely blaming other people, other situations for the set of life circumstances that you either like or don't like. That leaves you with no responsibility. You don't have to take any responsibility. All you're doing is showing up, and the universe is either taking care of you or it's not. So when you're in that, law of attraction is very real, and you're just putting out victim consciousness. You're putting out that you have no control. That's what's coming back. So it's this snowball effect of negativity and blaming and no responsibility, and then you get more of it, so it stacks on, and then you're completely dependent upon people, places, and things, like I said, to do or not do something to make sure that you feel or don't feel a certain way. That's not good. So what that's doing is, the first thing is, it's leaving you stagnant in life. You can't move forward, especially like if you don't like your life and you feel like it's not because of you and things happen. And look, I'm not saying crappy stuff doesn't happen. I'm very qualified to admit that life does make victims sometimes. It hits you hard when you're not looking, right in the nose. I'm not saying that your pain isn't real. That's not what this is. But another thing is, excuse me, geez, I guess I shouldn't slam a nitro cold brew coffee and sit down in front of the camera, but you're drained all the time. You're just walking around completely drained when you're in victim mindset. And so what that does is, now you don't even have the energy to fight back against it. And so more stuff piles on, more stuff piles on. And the problem is, it's not just you that's drained, it's everybody around you as well. So your relationships are strained. People are investing in you. And one of the hardest parts of being around someone that has a victim consciousness is their need for external validation. So they are always looking for you to tell them they're okay, you to make them feel better, you to pull them by their bootstraps. And you can only do that so many times. Doesn't matter how much you love them, before you don't have enough to give. And then now they're mad at you because you can't continue to pull them. And they're like, my life's effed. And now you're getting blamed. So the people that love you the most are going to become your enemy if you're in victim consciousness, because there's only so much that they can give before they have to protect themselves and be like, all right, I'm out. Sorry, I love you, but you got to figure out your own problems. And the ultimate problem with victim consciousness is it leaves you truly powerless. Okay, everything I just described is powerlessness. You are now at the complete whim of how things unfold in front of you. All you are doing is responding. You're not owning anything in life. You're not taking responsibility. You're not understanding that a different style of thinking, a different mindset, and this can be practiced. You're not just, you're not just born with this type of mindset, but you're not understanding that a mindset can pull you out of it, and the victim thing is a mindset. And so what is that mindset? And first of all, I lived in victim consciousness until 38 years old and had no idea. I still accomplished a ton. I climbed the corporate ladder, scaled a real estate empire, got sober, did, yada, yada, yada. List goes on. I'm very qualified. And I was sitting there in victim consciousness. And the way I would respond to it, though, was double down on hard work. And it was all this motivation of F you, I'll show you, I'll show myself, I'll prove them wrong. I'm that guy. External validation. And I had no idea I was ruled by that. I was in a job making big money, and I didn't give two squats about the money. You know what I wanted? Recognition. I wanted the awards and I wanted the plaques, which is basically the highest level of people telling me, you're good, you're okay. And if I wouldn't get some of that for like a week or two, the fear would just be overwhelming. And so there's a lot of fear with victim consciousness. All right, how do we get out of this? The very first thing, crucial, absolutely crucial, non-negotiable, mindfulness and meditation, most specifically meditation. Now, I'm not talking about a body scan meditation, a chakra meditation, a relax meditation, no sleep, deep REM, whatever the latest things are. Those are awesome. Those are very, relaxing activities. They're good for physiology, the whole thing. But what we're looking for is a meditation that builds the ability to recognize that there's you, spirit, your energy, and then there's your thinking, which is a biological process wired into our brains, neurons firing, designed to keep us alive. So it's constantly looking for things to be afraid of, to fight. So those are what you're dealing with here. And that second one is where the victim consciousness is. It is not in you, the I am. I don't want to go down that whole path there, but I think you know what I'm saying. And so you have to practice a meditation of mindfulness that teaches you to recognize when you're thinking. And it takes about 3 or 4 weeks of doing this practice, and you'll notice that that transitions into your waking life. Now you're at bat, okay? When you're walking through life and you have the ability to identify your thinking, you're gonna immediately identify negative thinking. You're gonna identify victim thinking. You're gonna identify mindset existence that isn't positive, isn't gratitude filled. It's filled with anger and fear and resentment. You can't do any of this if you don't build that muscle. And the only way I've found to build that muscle is mindfulness, meditation, in any form. For me, I just sit there. I literally just sit there with my eyes closed and do my best to remember that I'm sitting there with my eyes closed. So when I'm thinking about something else, I'm like, oh yeah, there's my thinking. That's all that was. Start with 5 minutes a day, work your way up to 20. In about 3 weeks, you're gonna notice throughout your day that you can identify your thinking. So now when the victim thing comes up, you start playing silly games with yourself because it's gonna feel ridiculous. You catch yourself thinking in this negative pattern and you replace it with positive thoughts and positive patterns. And if a problem comes up, force your brain to say, oh my gosh, I'm out of money. Well, I'm grateful that next time I have money, I'm gonna appreciate it because I don't have it right now and it's stressful. Whatever it is for you, everything you need to, and it feels so dumb at first. It is not gonna feel like it's working. It's gonna feel like it's a waste of time. After a while, you'll notice it becomes automatic. So the first thing of monitoring thoughts is that you notice there's a lot of negative thoughts and a lot of victim thoughts. The second part is when you identify those, replace them with the positive, force it. Don't just, I'm a firm believer in not just ignoring it, but do your best to counter, we're trying to reprogram our brain here. Counteract negativity with positivity. Respond to problems with gratitude. How is this going to have good come from it? That's how you do that. And then with time, that becomes automatic. You'll notice that it happens automatically. A problem comes up and your brain immediately, very quickly goes to what is the good side of this problem. And then you stay there long enough, it becomes a permanent change. And when you are negative, you say something negative, you think negative, it is so foreign and disgusting that you can't tolerate it. That's when you know you're there. So that is my opinion on the dangers of victim consciousness, how to identify it, what you can do. The biggest thing, you have to own your thinking, which is the first step in taking responsibility for your own life. Things happen in life that are horrible to all of us. Yes, they do. I've had them, and then there's people that have had way worse than me. It's awful. There's people, slaves in the Congo right now, mining for gold for us to have, oh, that's negativity right there. But I'm just saying, there are real problems. Life does make victims, but if you live there, you're toast. You're done. You're out of the game. And that's not what we're doing here. We're here to evolve our consciousness in this life and move forward and lift ourselves up and bring out our own tools and skills that allow us to chase our dreams in this life in a way that also helps other people. Can't do that in victim consciousness. That's my opinion on how you get out after I spent 38 years there. I got out, well, anyways, all right. That's all I want to say. Have a good day.